You're listening to the VRverse, a virtual reality podcast where two friends talk all things VR. Now, let's join your hosts, the VR Realm and Dr. Oculus.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 24 of the VRverse, a 2-year anniversary. Jesus, 24 episodes.
Congratulations.
We're here and we are playing award shows. We're not doing an award show, we're playing award shows.
We're playing award shows, yes. It's a new release coming every year.
So just before we start, we did plan to do a poll on here for the viewers listener award, but we found out you can only run the poll for 10 minutes. So you'll see pinned at the top of the chat is a link to a tweet where you can go and vote for the viewer/listener award. We wanted to, it was a bright idea of Mr. Dr. Oculus's to include yous. So I wouldn't have ever thought of it, but so thank you, Doc. I would never have thought of that. Well, yeah, that is there.
No.
You can go over and vote on there.
I didn't do it. Exclusion is what I'm all about.
So I'll quickly do just the options for this, in case you want to know what the options are. Asgard's Wrath 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Assassin's Creed Nexus, The Light Brigade, and Ghost of Tabor. Now these were decided on a tweet where we put out, which Doc put out to get people's opinions on what should be in there. We totaled them up and these were the 5 winners. So those are on there to get votes on. So yeah, that is it. So yeah. Welcome to episode 24.
Interesting year.
Welcome, Dr. Oculus, co-host, of course.
Hello.
Yeah, it's
Pleasure
definitely
to be here.
been an interesting year for VR. Ended with a really interesting thing. We should really get into before we hit the awards. A 10 out of 10 game came out.
Yeah, that was a thing. I've not played it enough to agree or disagree with that. What I have played has been underwhelming.
So, if you don't know what we're talking about, Asgard's Wrath 2, which is in the Viewer Awards, came out last week and on Friday, so not even a week ago. And IGN dropped a big 10 out of 10 score on it, which sort of divided people.
Yeah, a lot of people have been massively ignoring IGN's VR games because they're like, they don't know how to rate VR games, and then they give one a 10 and they're like, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Convenient, that, isn't it?
So I've played just over 4 hours of it. I see it's got positives, it's definitely got negatives. From what I've played so far, I would say it's around, for me, maybe if I have to rate it, probably around 8 out of 10 at the moment. I don't think it'll ever breach into 10 out of 10. It's got too many issues I've seen which would stop it from being there.
I played about 90 minutes of it yesterday, give or take.
Yeah.
And I would give it a generous 4. I need more time. The biggest thing that hit me about that game is that it's got like a mobile game, come back every day for better rewards, get your battle pass now. Like, oh yeah, that is my biggest bugbear. When Forza turned into that, they lost me as a gamer. I hate doing that because games become not an escape, they become like a chore.
Yeah.
And when games become a chore, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not a fan.
I mean, what shocked me with that inclusion as well is people only put that in when they want people to keep coming back to the games, and it will drag people back. But when you put in like a 40-50 hour campaign apparently in there, like the people really need to come back and do that every day. And because that's sort of locked. What I found is, I don't know if you might not have got there yet, but it's not really ruining it. You meet someone, you go back to the Netherrealm type thing with the big tree lady with the really saggy boobs and the other two. You go back to them and it's sort of unlocked a roguelike mode. And I think that's what the daily awards are from, like the roguelike, which just
Yeah, I wondered if there was some like post-game content that required you to have that
Yeah.
kind of interaction, because I don't see the point. But if that's what they're aiming for, then that makes a little more sense, I suppose.
And then the next decisive thing about it, apart from the score, was, I mean, it's 13 mentioned in the chat. It's a Quest 2 game, and they've pushed it.
Yeah.
They've pushed the Quest 3 as this is their headset seller, but they haven't give you a Quest 3 enhanced game.
No. It's Meta have done very weird things with the Quest 3, don't you think?
Hmm.
They're like, oh, we have this new headset and we have all these in-house development companies. All right, and what have they done for it? Nothing.
A new track pack for Beat Saber.
Oh wow! Like it did. At least give us mixed reality Beat Saber. It can't be like that much of a thing to be like, how can we do mixed reality? Oh, the same way all the other music games have done.
Yep.
They've not done mixed reality for Beat Saber. Asgard's Wrath comes out and it's a Quest 2 game. I don't get what they're doing. Ready at Dawn like stopped Echo, but then not told us what they are doing, so then they're losing the community there as well. I just kind of got the impression that Meta are kind of walking away from gaming.
Yeah.
But then I hear other things, and it fills me with hope. They're definitely, if nothing else, they're looking at like publishing a lot of games, and they are getting behind games and gamers quite heavily. So that's good news.
So what I think they've come out with as well is around that is, with Asgard's Wrath, I've seen that they have come out and said we will be giving it Quest 3 enhancements soon.
Yeah, we bullied the devs into rushing a Quest 3 pack
Never
out.
said,
Well done.
Never said how soon. They said soon. So
yeah.
And I was hoping it would drop at some point this week, so it's there for Christmas for people who are buying it. Some people might went out and bought a Quest 3 for Asgard's Wrath.
Yeah, or the people that bought a Quest 3 but they don't have like a bunch of games.
Yeah.
So then they're gonna launch Asgard's Wrath and be like, "Oh, this is the best thing this has to offer." Well, it's £500. Thank you.
I think I mentioned on your stream when you were playing it yesterday, is the best comparator I got with this whole it's a Quest 2 game was someone said, what if Sony shipped the PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation 4 version of Spider-Man? There would be a lot of uproar about that. Like, why are you giving us this?
Yeah, that is an absolute perfect way of putting that forward. It is literally just that. It's very strange, but there we go. That's meta for you, I guess.
Well, at least they're giving us it. They're going to give us it, which is a positive. They're going to give us it.
I got what I paid for at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It came for free. It sounds a bit harsh to be mourning when they're giving it with you. I mean, if you'd been out and bought it, I'd probably be a bit more annoyed. If it was like the PlayStation, you could buy it cheaper without Horizon, or buy it. Well, if you got it with Horizon, it was cheaper than buying them separately, like the bundle. If it was like that and you could get the Quest for cheaper, it would be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you said, it came for free.
Yeah.
So
let them. I'm sure they'll get out there.
It'll be fine. But aside from Asgard's Wrath, there are plenty of other games that you can technically be playing on the Quest at Christmas or other festive reasons that you may or may not own a Quest 3. Pop 1, if you like fighting and shooting little kids in the face, that's a thing.
It's not a Gorilla Tag's not free anymore, is it? I was going to think
it's
the
not.
freebies.
That's paid for. VR chat, that's free, so you can run around and chat to. Wait, I realized there's an ongoing theme about young kids and screaming at you.
Yeah. You're going around and chat to kids screaming as anime girls.
Lab. That's got loads of great free stuff on there.
Yeah.
Loads. There's a massive untapped market on there.
Yeah.
That is not just full of screaming children.
Yeah.
So you do have options. Maybe that's what I should be spending my time doing.
But personally, I think Amazon have already put numbers out. Like the Quest 2 is outselling the Quest 3 this Christmas, but it's expected because the Quest 2's 250.
Dramatically cheaper.
250.
Yeah.
The Quest 3's 500. What are parents gonna look at? Parents will probably be getting the Wii and Wii U thinking it as well, thinking they've bought the latest Quest, but they've bought the Quest 2.
There is
You're
that,
hitting in that
and then
sort of-
there is also the element of people are just like, oh, it's a fad, it's just a gimmick. They're not going to want to play with it in 6 weeks' time, so I'm not going to spend 500 quid when I can spend 250.
Yeah.
So it's a bit column A, bit column B. It's strange, but at the end of the day, VR is getting out there. There's going to be yet more screaming children come Christmas Day. So yay.
I know all the Pop 1 players who play avidly that I know still will be very happy because they get noobs to just torture on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I am that noob. Like I just get destroyed in those games all the time.
I could probably go back in and look like a half decent player on Christmas.
Yeah, I suppose there is that. Maybe that's what I do. I go and get my one and only chicken dinner and leave.
Yeah.
Came close one time. I think I got second.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we should consider awards. We've got quite a few to go through. And since we're talking about games that you can play at Christmas, let's start. We've both picked our game that we should have played and we haven't this year.
I have a good excuse for mine. A very good excuse.
So, I'll start with mine. I put down Dungeons of Eternity on the Quest.
Everybody's talking about that.
Everything I've read about it has been like glowing. Like everybody loves it. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best co-op game on the Quest. It's this, and that." And I was like, I should really play it, but then I've never even purchased it yet. Like, I mean, even after making these decisions for the awards tonight, near feature day, I think they'd shared that Dungeon of Eternity's in the Quest sale, 33% off, the Christmas one.
I was going to say, yeah, it's currently on sale.
And Nafi had responded to it saying, "Don't sleep on this one." And I was thinking, oh, stop trying to make me buy stuff. I mean, I need to play it, but I've got just too much at the moment. There really is.
It is. It's currently £14.99, down from £22.99. And like you, I'm sat there looking at this, just like, oh, I should buy that. I've had that and Ghostbusters in my basket over the last 48 hours. Just thinking, I should buy that.
When you
I actually have a bunch of referral credit too.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's got to be play co-op. So I think if we got it, I'd have to talk. Also, get you to buy it so we can play it in co-op.
You buy it. I literally have it. I can click the button right now. I will buy it. You just say the word.
Yeah, then we can play it in co-op, which will work very well.
So yeah, that one definitely. I completely agree, and it was on my short list. But the one I came up with, and I have an incredibly good, honest, decent to God reason, is Vertigo 2. It's one of the games that's popped up on our People's Choice a few times, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll play it on the PC. And then I saw the trailer at like Meta Connect or something and thought, oh, that's not the game I wanted. Then it came out and it is the game I want. But then I was like, oh, I'll get it on the PlayStation. But the PlayStation version got delayed. So that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it on the PSVR 2. I already have it. But I can't stream it until it comes out, so I will be playing it next year.
Yeah, it got delayed twice, didn't it? So
yeah,
they haven't actually given the new release date yet, have they? They've just given the.
No, did they say? I thought somebody said January.
I know they said the 12th of December, didn't they? And then it got delayed because they found a bug.
And
I think it just maybe they have put January in there. No, was that?
I thought I'd heard January. I could be wrong.
I can remember
I'm usually
Bulletstorm getting January.
That could be what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Yes. Could be it.
But yeah, Vertigo is definitely one that's worth playing. I'll plan to play it on the PlayStation. But I played it on the PC, obviously, when it came out. I plan to play it on PlayStation.
Yeah, I should have acquired it by now, but say I will be playing on the PSVR, so
Yeah.
it will be done. Yes.
Hmm. So that's sort of like awards for games that we haven't
We
played.
should have played them. This is the reason why they're not on these particular awards that this started out, I think it started out as a game of the year that we were going to discuss at like the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's turned into like a full-on award ceremony
Yeah.
over the last few weeks. So yeah, it was the reason why it may or may not appear there is because we've not played them. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't think they're good games. It's just we can't rate a game we've not played.
Sort of came to the realization today as well that we were going to give one game it, and we're like, we've both played completely different games, so how we're going to like.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
choose
we
one.
had to deliberate a little bit of back and forth, but it was very quick and easy. We came to
Yeah.
a conclusion on all of these.
So before we get on to the actual full awards, we'll explain how we got it to work. We basically got a list of awards. We submitted each other's like on what we thought would be for our choice. So what we're going to do on each award is say what our choice was, and then the winner, basically. We'll say why we chose it for that, and then we'll say which one won. And then we sort of got together. Like I said, it was a very easy decision. And we just put our list together and chose the one we agreed on the most, basically. And that
Yeah,
makes it
absolutely.
nice and easy.
If I remember, I'm going to put links to all of these games because they absolutely should. I mean, it'll just be one link to one store, but
Yeah.
You guys have got Google. You're adults. Go Google it.
Yep. And just before we go start going for our own, pinned at the top, you can vote for the viewer/listener awards. It's over on a poll on Twitter. So if you want to go and vote on which ones you think is the best game out of the 5 there, so we can present that's open until 9 o'clock. And then, so we can basically have it ready to to announce when we get to that point.
Currently 40 minutes left in there, and we have 16 votes so far.
So yeah,
the results may surprise you.
I've got them hidden at the moment. We will get there. So there was some of these that were very simple because we both said exactly the same game. So
yeah,
and that was the case of the first one we're going to do, which is the best official soundtrack of the year. This is one we both agreed on straight away. Both of us said the same thing, and that is C Smash VRS.
Yes, I absolutely loved the soundtrack to C Smash VRS. Playing it on stream, I was just absolutely vibing, especially with the Wooger as well. I have to say, this soundtrack is absolutely superb. So much so that I even bought the vinyl, which I would hold up and show you, but I don't want to move. So yeah, I very much enjoyed C Smash VRS. I even got a chance to meet the developer Jorg at various shows this year, and yeah, it's just absolutely superb. It was one of the absolute best of the year, which is why I think it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I think for me, it's playing it. I feel like it's the best music we've had since Tetris Effect in the game. It's a really good mix. It really suits the game. They've obviously got really talented musicians to do the soundtrack for them. I think is it one guy who did the soundtrack, or did they mix it up? I can't remember.
I think there's two.
There's two, yeah.
I'm looking for the vinyl. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's two.
Yeah. But yeah,
But it is absolutely astounding.
They've done well, obviously converting it over from what was originally a Dreamcast game, Cosmic Smash.
Yeah.
Getting it converted over to VR and keeping the charm of it and keeping the music that keeps you entertained while you're playing it. It suits perfectly what you're doing. So yeah, definitely worth our vote there. So that was one of the easy ones where we both went for the same.
Yeah, it was. It's also available if you have like a Spotify account or anything like that. The soundtrack is available to stream live right now as well, so you can, get that on in the gym or whatever you want. It's absolutely superb. I played it the other week while we were building some Lego, and yeah, I absolutely very much thoroughly enjoy it. It's a superb soundtrack, and it fits the game perfectly.
Yeah, I may have to see if you can still get the vinyls anywhere and get one, actually.
You can. I'll get you a link.
Okay.
I believe you can, unless they're a limited run. But yeah, I'll get you a link. You can buy them from a website that is escaping me.
Yeah. You can join my Moss one.
I wish I had a. Part of me wishes I had a record player so I could play them. Part of me's like, I only own like 5 vinyls and I like them in the wrappers. So I've got Foo Fighters in your honor on like 4 discs.
Very nice.
Anyway, that's not VR.
Yeah.
But do you know what is VR?
Sea Smash.
It is indeed, yes.
So this is one where we sort of hit a... We were going to both say our own. We both had different things. The best supported and ongoing game of the year. I mean, I suppose it doesn't have to be of the year because it's one that keeps... It's got good additional stuff this year.
Yeah.
It's ongoing. And both of them will seem to be always getting updates each year, each month, every 6 months. They both seem. So the first nomination, if you want to let people know what you nominated into this doc.
Well, do you want to say your nomination?
I can do. So I nominated Walkabout Mini Golf. It's always getting new courses. It seems to get a course every month at the moment, or every other month. Constantly growing. The latest one they released, which we played through, was Meow Wolf, and that is by far my favourite course. For design wise, it's so very well made, sensory. It basically suits the Meow Wolf experiences that around the US.
Yeah. It is a great game, and it is absolutely worth a mention.
Yeah.
Another honourable mention should realistically also go to No Man's Sky, but because it's not exclusively VR, I felt a bit cheap putting it on there. But that has seen just so many great updates since its release back in like 2014, 16, ages ago. It's seen so many updates. And the fact that they're a big AAA kind of game like that is supporting VR, absolutely worth a mention.
Yeah.
However, we both then ultimately decided on this game for the best ongoing, most sort of supported game, and that is Pistol Whip by Cloudhead Games.
Yeah.
They released this game back in November 2019, I believe. And they have done nothing but improve, update, remix, and just generally tweak this game ever since, up to and including last November when they released the 4-year anniversary update.
Yeah.
I recently started playing Pistol Whip in the Quest Pro just for a little bit of movement in my life because, I hit 40 and I'm too fat to be 40. And I was just like, wow, this is not the game I was playing all those years ago when it first came out in my Oculus CV1. So I was so impressed with the campaigns they've added, the new tracks, the remixes, the guns. It is such a different game. It was absolutely superb.
Yeah, I agree with that. With how much improvement with the update. I originally played when it first came out, and I didn't take to it. I was like, it's not really for me. Like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, it's not something I'm going to go back to. And then Cloudhead reached out and asked me would I cover the PlayStation version when it was coming out, when the upgrade came to PlayStation VR 2 on the release day. Played it and seen the updates from back then when I've jumped into it maybe once or twice since it first came out to where it was at with the campaigns and all that. I was just like, it's crazily good now.
Yeah. And whilst Walkabout, they've done a lot of great content, Cloudhead have not charged a penny for a single update, which I thought was just absolutely insane. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We need more Cloudheads in this world. They've done a superb job with Pistol Whip, and it is very well deserved in my book.
Yeah, because what that's one thing that you appreciate with them is when they was talking about the roadmap we were going to release this campaign, I was like, so this is going to where we're going to release some track packs, some single tracks, and we're releasing a campaign. I was thinking the campaign's going to be paid for.
Yeah,
and
that's what I thought.
And the comment said it's free.
I read that.
Comment said it's free. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it shocked me. Absolutely shocked me.
So very well deserved. They continuously support the game and continue to support it for free as well. So
well done, Cloudhead. We are internally clapping.
Yeah.
But Chris would stop us from putting it. Plus, nobody wants to listen to a podcast of people clapping.
Yeah.
Insert your own clapping sounds here.
Clapping your head. So yeah, well done to Pistol Whip for winning the best ongoing. The next one we were trying
to the charity shop to buy you a trophy.
Yeah.
You have a dancer on there, but still.
Or a footballer, or
yeah. Oh yeah, soccer trophies. There've got to be 1,000 of those.
Yeah. Right? The next one we've got is for best narrative driven game. Again, I'll go first. I put forward Discoronia. I'm a massive fan of visual novels. And where they are narrative driven, they seem to have done a lot more with Discoronia. Like each time My Dearest release a game, it's always, and well, apart from the new one coming up, which is a 3v3 hero shooter, but each previous game before that have always been visual novels, and they've always improved the interactivity of them. Like the first one was basically just a conversation. The second one, you sort of control the mech by pressing buttons. And then you hit Discoronia and you do all the investigating. It's very simple investigation stuff, but so you get on with the narrative. But I just thought it's a very well told story.
It was absolutely on my shortlist as well.
Yeah.
And it was only sort of pipped, just sort of, it was 51 points and 49 points sort of thing.
Yeah.
That my choice eventually ended up taking it for me.
Yeah.
And that choice was because whenever I think of narrative storytelling, this comes absolutely to my mind. And in the PSVR 2, it was a demonstration of the hardware as well as what could be done. And a little bit of a reminder that life is short.
Yeah.
It also dried my eyes and wet them all at the same time. If you've not guessed it by now, it is in fact before your eyes. Such a great story and such a great use of the tech, I thought.
Yeah.
Which was optional. You could absolutely turn it off. If you're a completionist like me, you could go back through it and you could see the entire story. There were times when I just blindly, without thinking, just blinked and missed a thing. Was like, wait, where's it gone? And it's this year. I've literally been having conversations with people like, oh yeah, we did that thing this year. My mum's like, no, we didn't. We haven't actually done that since before COVID. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life travels quickly.
Yeah.
It can vanish very, very quickly as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that is, to me, the first thing, the narrative storytelling side of things from this year. Absolutely, that came to the top of the list for me.
Yeah. So when Doc sent his list, I said yes, that's the one, because I completely forgot about it. It completely passed over my head. When I saw it on Doc's list, I was like, oh yeah, Jesus, that. And same reason, the story tells a fantastic story of, like you said, the example that life can be short, life can pass by you. One thing that got me with it is when you were like had the thing to say, like try not blink, basically, where it's saying if you blink, it's going to forward, like the little icon. Never mind how much I tried, I seemed to blink quicker on those parts because I was thinking in my head, don't blink, and it just caused me to blink. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
But it didn't ruin it. It's a really well, again, yeah, like you said, it took the eye tracking from Sony's hardware and just used it to a perfect way. Like, you've got the control, you close your eyes, you open it, part of your life's gone. Like, it gives that feeling. Like, it could be simple as closing your eyes and then, like, you're gonna wake up later down the line. You never know. It's a very, very well done, and it's also a game that I didn't plan to stream. I played it offline, and I had tears in the wrinkles of the headset by the end of it.
Yeah,
of the face gasket, in the little ridges in the face gasket, there was little puddles in there because it breaks it as well. It's really, really, really well done.
Came out on PC like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
On the Steam store that's not VR, but it did come out VR this year.
Yeah.
On the PSVR 2, and I think it was a great use of the tech.
Definitely was. Definitely was.
Absolutely. Play it if you can. Watch it if you can't.
Yeah.
It's superb to play. So well done on that one. Goodbye World Games.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We will send you a tweet later to let you know that we link your game as the best narrative of the year.
Yeah, definitely. We have next up the best mod / VR conversion.
Now this one was difficult for me because I've played certain mods that aren't available, and B, I haven't played many other mods.
Yeah.
This year, the Luke Ross mod has taken a lot of time and space in my brain and channel, but for me the Unreal Injector is it's obviously not out in time to make it on the list for this year, but next year it's going to be on the list, so don't even bother nominating anything else. It is absolutely superb, the Unreal Injector mod. The games I've playing Returnal first person in VR, oh my life, that is just an astonishing thing to do. So the sooner we can do that, the better. But it's not out, so we can't include it. So then I thought, okay, well, a conversion as such. Gran Turismo came out ages ago, and then Sony converted it for the PSVR.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was cheating. It was basically a VR game. I think Sony may have always planned that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to say Gran Turismo 7. Which then brought it down to one fairly simple choice for me. And I think you agreed, didn't you?
Yeah, I agreed. So I've played a few mods. I haven't played a lot. But I played the Portal 2 mod, and
which looked astounding. Did the multiplayer didn't work on that, did it?
No, it was just a single.
Which is a shame.
But that worked. The single, I went into it not expecting much because I thought, how's it going to work? Like, surely it's going to... I mean, I didn't think it'd affect me, but in my head I was like, it's going to make some people motion sick firing yourself through portals, especially on the parts where you've got to bounce off the goo and go flying through a portal that gets you going faster through to the next portal. I thought, it's going to be bad for some people, but it was a free mod. I tried it, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well it was done. Like, everything worked. There was a few issues where sometimes if you'd pause the game and then unpause it, your gun wouldn't move with you anymore, but you could still fire the portals. You could still move the point and fire your portals, and when you got to the next loading screen, it would fix it. You could have a quit or get to the next loading screen, and it'd fix it, but you wouldn't be carrying your gun. You'd still be able to move the crosshair with 6'd off, and put your portals down. You just wouldn't have the gun in your hand. But then it would be back there on the next loading screen if you quit and came back in.
Which the community have done an astonishing job with the Portal mod and what they've been given. Because I was on the fence of just like, how do we go for the Half-Life mods? Because they've done great things.
Yeah.
Valve obviously being involved massively helped, but they've done great things, and those Half-Life mods are basically like they feel as native can be.
Yeah, definitely. They were again, yeah, could have been strong contenders. I haven't tried the Half-Life 1 one yet, but I won one. I did the 2-2
I
one.
had the Lambda mod to get it on Quest. I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I did. Wait, I actually may have played it on stream, and I'm just being stupid. I'm gonna shut up. Half-Life's great.
Yeah, but really, as Doc said, when we got through the list, there was 2 games that were going to be clear winners. And
well, I think essentially it's just a mod and it's functional on multiple games. 4 games? 4 games. In total, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be the Resident Evil framework.
Yep.
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
When Resident Evil 8 came out on the PSVR 2, I started playing the PSVR 2 version, very, very happy. And then it just started to really annoy me. Like, really annoy me. Stupid little things like I would walk up to a door and then you press the button to open the door. Rather than doing a door handle, you push a button. And then it would lurch me forward like 3 feet into the door. Didn't cut to black or anything, just jumped me forward. And it really broke my immersion and really annoyed me to the point where I was like, do you know what? I'm going to just carry on playing on the PC with the Prey Dog mod. And the Prey Dog mod, the only thing that made me go back to the PSVR, aside from the fact that it was the PSVR and it was the hot headset at the moment, was that I could throw the knife. That was literally the only reason I went back.
And we just need him to now, someone to do a first-person mod for Resi 4, and then get Prey Dog's mod in with that. And
I think it would be because Resident Evil mod, you could literally change. You just moved the camera around.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if there was something that allowed you to do it. I'm looking at the mod website right now, and it just says Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8.
Yeah, I know Resi 2 and 3 mods he did put it in the first person, didn't it? So I don't see why Resi 4 wouldn't. But maybe he has. I don't know. I've never checked the Resi 4 one.
There's Resident Evil 4 and Street Fighter 6 are supported. I presume it can be played first person. Honestly, I don't own it because I knew it was coming for the PlayStation, so I didn't even bother buying Resi 4. But maybe I'll try it one day. But that is an absolutely astounding bang for your buck. And Prey Dog are doing the Lord's work here because they give their mods away for free. Not to take anything away from Luke Ross, but the Prey Dog mods are available for everybody.
Yeah.
And that is just insane that they're doing that.
Yeah. So obviously he's added his support for Resi 8 this year. So, and obviously Resi 4, because it's a Resi 4 remake. He's been adding his support on through the years. So yeah, make sure to check that out. His mod out if you own him on PC and a PC VR headset. Like you said, it's free if you own those games. There's no reason not to try
links
it.
in the chat.
Yeah. So well done, Prey Dog. That is our mod conversion software of the year.
Take off our imaginary hats to you.
Yeah.
Keep doing the Lord's work, and whenever that UE injector mod is ready, you let us know because we are chomping at the bit. It is amazing. Seriously, played RoboCop, the new RoboCop game in that. Didn't have 6 DOF controls, only made it better. Because then you've only got 3 DOF, so you feel like a guy with a robot arm. So I've got a list of games I'm gonna buy when that mod comes out. So yeah,
as soon as when he announced the mod and he had the first clip was from Ready or Not, I was like, I'm sold on this mod already. I was like, a realistic tactical shooter going in to rescue hostages and things like that, and it's gonna have VR. Give me it.
Yeah, I will very happily. I've literally got that's on my list. That's on my wish list. Ready or Not, it's on my wish list. Ready for when the VR mod comes.
Yeah. it's really difficult, and I think VR might make it a bit more difficult until you get used to it, but it'll be a lot more fun in VR.
Yeah. Do you know what is more fun in VR?
Multiplayer.
Playing with friends.
Yay.
And that is our next category.
Yeah.
Now, I once again danced around multiple different games for this category. One of the games I have, the app, once again, it's to bring it up again. One of the games I have so much fun with on a monthly basis is Gran Turismo 7.
Mm-hmm.
However, is that fun because of the people I play it with, or the kind of multiplayer game that it is? And I think the answer is it's because of the people that I play it with.
Yeah.
So that took that off of the list. The other game that I've played a lot of multiplayer is a game that you and I have been playing, which was Crossfire Sierra Squad.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like a co-op campaign. It's not a multiplayer sort of game, is it?
Yeah, it's like
But then
it's just as fun in, you can have fun in solo on that.
you could, yeah. And it is a different game solo than what it is multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it was on my list, but when you mentioned the winning game, I couldn't help but agree.
Yeah. So the winning game for this award is Walkabout Mini Golf. Yay! It's I'll put this one forward because to me the multiplayer makes the game. It's not one I normally go in and play on my own, and the fact that I've racked up 26 hours on the PlayStation VR since it come out on Walkabout Mini Golf, and I've only played multiplayer, it says a lot.
Yeah, that really does. I've got various hours and various versions. I own that game now on Meta, Steam, and no, just Meta and Steam. To be fair, I think it was cross-buy, so that I can't count the Meta twice.
But yeah,
it's it is the if ever you want me to play a multiplayer game. See, I toyed with the idea of the cornhole and forever games, because bowling, pool, darts, cornhole, all great games, and some of them free, no less.
Yeah.
But I think this is a game that you could literally play with your mum.
Yeah.
In fact, I might. Give it the Quest 2.
Like what's great about it in the multiplayer as well, it's, to me, I always explain it as the best social app that isn't a social app.
Yes, which a lot of people are saying about Racket Club, but sadly I've just not got around to playing that.
Yeah.
And I think Racket Club is like Demio with tennis rackets. I think they've got the clubhouse where you paint the miniatures and stuff. I think that element's going to be involved, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to be as social. Whereas Walkabout Mini Golf, you can obviously. I've literally jumped into Walkabout Mini Golf, stood in the front bit, chipping balls into the sea, and just literally talked with people on the other side of the world, just for fun.
Yeah.
And that's you just can't beat that. It is an absolutely fantastic experience, and we maybe a little bit cheating because the game's been out for ages, but it came out on PSVR 2 this year. Damn it, so it counts.
Yeah, I should have maybe put that stipulation at the beginning. I didn't mention that. The game just have to be released on one platform this year. Like, I didn't say that at the beginning. Or left early access or whatever. I don't think there was any early access ones in here, but all left early access.
We did toy with the idea of a game that it maybe been out for a while, but went version 1.0 this year.
Which we'll get to later, actually, because it was my vote, wasn't it? So I just thought we're still talking about the ones we put forward.
So it was a thought, but then ultimately, we said, look, if it's gone 1.0, that is a release. We'll take it.
Yeah.
One of the write-ins, one of the nominations was also a game that was on Side Quest back in November, but I was like, do you know what? It came to App Lab in January this year, so I'll count it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of fast and loose, but I stand by it. Dang it.
So with that surprise of our admission of our loose rules, let's get on to the biggest surprise of the year. Which game surprised us the most?
That was glorious. I was like, I think he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He did it. Yeah, the game that surprised me the absolute most, and I think it did surprise you as well. What was your original one for this?
My original one for this was Sea Smash.
Right.
Because I was surprised at how well it converted from, because obviously it was like a third-person racket game on the Dreamcast. How well it converted over, and how smooth it all is, just shocked me. And how they've kept all the fun of the different things you have to hit and the different things like that, different types of walls you have to hit with different shots or get behind them, and yeah, it just really got me there. It really got me
so there. It could well be. You see, I was tempted to go for a negative view on this one. So I was going to be like, surprise of the year is Ghostbusters was crap. But I decided not to because I've not played the game, so I can't really call it crap, can I? So then the end result was we both agreed on this. It surprised me in the sense that I was like, wow, this actually is kind of a system seller. I didn't expect this to be the game that if anybody asked me about, I would say, yeah, play that one. And I even forced you into the game when I was fortunate enough to be in your presence this year. And I think you even agreed.
I did, yeah. I was quite... Because it's not my type of thing. Like, it's one game I never thought I'd want to play. Never even came on my radar because I'm not that type of person who plays a sim racer, which... So the winner of this... I thought we hadn't even said who won it yet. The winner is Gran Turismo 7.
It is indeed, yeah. GT7, absolutely a system seller for the PSVR 2. It is astonishing what they've done with it, and it's one of the first times that I saw the foveated rendering in action, and I never even realized it was a thing until I watched somebody else stream it, and I was like, wait, why do your tires look like Minecraft? And then I said, do me a favor, don't move your head, just glance over at your tires. And I was like, oh, that's it. Wow, okay. And as I say, it's the game that I keep going back to, and I have a lot of fun multiplayer, but I do have fun solo. If I didn't have so many games, I would play a lot more of it, I think.
Yeah.
I just have way too many to play.
Because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of sim races, and you put me in it because... And I was like, played it with a controller. Obviously, I don't have a wheel with web, but find out you can just use the controller as a steering wheel.
Yeah, the gyro on the controller is absolutely, like, it is incredibly serviceable. One of the first times I did race night over with Zim and the gang, I didn't have space for the wheel. So I just used the gyro on the controller, and it was a brilliant evening. Like, I don't feel like I lost anything. So they've done great things, even using that as well.
Yeah, so we did... I was shocked at how well it actually worked. And like I said, I put it on my wish list. I thought if it drops down to half price, which I'm hoping it might over Christmas. Because how much I think I'd get out of it, I wanted it to drop so far down before buying it. Like, I think how much I'd play, I'd be happy paying half the price for it of what it is. And unfortunately, only owning a digital console, I can't just buy the disc version from which you can get for half price in shops.
Yeah, that's what I did. I think I bought the PS4 version and then found out I had a £10 upgrade fee, which is the first time I'd seen anybody want to charge me for an upgrade. But as soon as I did that, I was like, do you know what? It's fair enough. I wish I'd bought the digital version because it was the same price and I have to get up and change a disc, but that's because I'm lazy. But yeah, it's absolutely, if you've got a PSVR and you have a whiff of interest in driving, that is absolutely, it should be on your must try, if not buy list.
Yeah.
for sure.
And the reason I put it on the surprise is because it's convinced me to. It's a big surprise for me. It's convinced me that at the right price I will buy it. Where I just don't buy racing games.
Yeah, that's it. And they've added like dirt and snow and stuff as well, which once again just really good fun. I doing the rally and the snow races on there. I've not got that far in the single player, but playing that with everybody else in the race night. Yeah, that was absolutely superb.
Yeah. So the next one. Oh, sorry. Well done to Sony Poly. Who did I make it? Poly.
Like I put a link. Let me click the link that I posted earlier. Polyphonic Studios, is it? Like, was the
Polyphonic came in my
was a
mind.
cracker.
I was thinking, am I just making Polyphonic up?
Gran Turismo is out now. There's a film. Don't know. It's a good game though.
It is Poly something. Poly wants a cracker.
Enjoy it.
Well done. Winning on your Gran Turismo 7. Well done for winning the surprise game of the year. I was about to say the best racing game there. We haven't even done that. The surprise game of the year.
The surprise that it wasn't a racing game category.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done, Gran Turismo and Sony and anybody else who was involved who we clearly researched many hours of.
Yeah. So the next one for this is the best puzzle game. Now I don't play many puzzle games, so I thought this.
Play too many.
Yeah, I was gonna say this falls more Doc's wider expertise. I put forward for mine. This is the one I said I'll put on the list, which went version 1.0 this year, and it was only a few months ago, and that is Room of Realities.
And I completely understand why you picked that game.
Yeah,
it is escape games in bite-sized chunks at its finest. The puzzles on that game are taxing enough that it makes you really kind of scratch your head, but not that much that they lead you to levels of frustration and rage quit. It's very well balanced. It's multiplayer, great with friends, cross-platform, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And it's I didn't fault you for 1 second for choosing that game.
I think what stood out to me for that is the idea of, because I'm not massive on puzzle games, being able to do it co-op takes a bit of the
heads.
Yeah, it takes a bit of the stress off you because you can work together rather than be like, oh god, what do I do here? Like, and then be stuck. You can sort of lean on someone else.
I frequently play a number of puzzle games. There's one of them that's called We Were Here, which used to be VR way back when. But then it turns out that it was actually a college student's project that ended up getting picked up, and then it lost the VR support and they've never brought it back. I keep telling them off about it. And it's very sort of similar to that. You do the puzzles together, but you also get split up from time to time. I love that game, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's probably on sale at the moment, and if it is, absolutely go and buy it, try it, play it. If you want a second head to come and poke at puzzles, let me know, and I will be that soldier.
Yeah.
Because I dig it. I'll play it.
You get the as well.
It's not the game.
They have updated it for free over the time it's been in the early access, so it went from 1 puzzle up to... Is it 3 now, isn't it? Yeah.
3 now, yeah.
Yeah, so the version 1.0 released with 3 solid puzzles there. Rooms to
and
go
minimal jank.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because there are companies that certainly lowered that bar in the past with much jank.
Mm-hmm.
So much jank.
Yeah.
But not them. So well done for that. For the nod, at least, an honourable mention goes to you. But sadly, the gong, the footballer trophy, does actually go to somebody else. They're just visiting.
And the game does involve a lot of gongs from a clock.
It does indeed. It does. It is, in fact, the 7th guest. The 7th guest is a little bit of a no-brainer for me. It's, aside from being an incredibly decent, solid, basically AAA title for VR, Just the sheer technological achievement and what they've done with that could not be ignored for me.
The whole volumetric capture of people, like the characters in the game, and everything's just, yeah.
I think they absolutely, and they made it an option again.
Mm-hmm.
Like they reintroduced the world to that technology and showed us that it could absolutely still be used in this world of Unreal 5 engines and photorealistic graphics. Is absolutely got a place in today's world. And yeah, the whole thing's just absolutely flawless to me. It was a tour de force as a puzzle lover, a story lover. I was a massive fan of the Invisible Hours.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Invisible Hours, except you can play it kind of thing. It was just astonishing. And it recently got a Quest 3 update as well. So it's going to look good pretty much wherever you play it.
Yeah, got your... What got me with it is, once I'd seen it on your list, I was like, how did I not put this one in as mine? Because it was one of the games. You had to whittle out of my options for Game of the Year. That sort of whittled out at the end. I was like, this was good for my Game of the Year, and I didn't even put it as the best puzzle game. I was like, what was my brain playing at the time? But yeah, definitely. It's Virgo just keep knocking out the park with games, and they've took a classic and reimagined it in VR, which...
Yeah, and they absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
The Vertigo absolutely smashed it. Our, once again, imaginary hats are removed in your honor.
Yeah.
Well done on that astounding puzzle game. Once again, your footballer trophies in the mail.
Mm-hmm. And now, from an area Doc is well versed in puzzle games to an area I'm probably more versed in. This is best shooter. I play a lot of shooter games. Yeah, I play a lot of shooters. Don't know what to name it, but the best shooter of VR shooter of the year. I had to knock this down from a few to try and pick mine, and I went with the one I will pick. But
I had to go through a few of them and be like, is that a shooter game? Nah, not really. Can I call Resident Evil a shooter game? Maybe. What about this game? Well, I've not played that, so it's kind of weird. I was going to put the Ghost of Tabor on the list because everybody loves it, but I've not played it. Every single shooter game I play is pretty much a game that's been released like 8 years ago. I was tempted to put Zero Caliber on there because I think that did go 1.0 this year.
I think it did.
But I haven't played it in a long, like VR Souls days.
Yeah.
Long time. So it felt bad kind of putting that on there. So I struggled. But then you came up with an absolute belter and I couldn't help but agree.
Yeah, so it might be a divided one with the community.
It was very divisive, definitely. Yeah,
divisive when it released. More I think around the advertisement of the game than one side of the advertisement of the game. But it was what I was expecting it to be. Even from the advert, I was expecting this to be, and that is best shooter has gone to Crossfire Sierra Squad, which is
I think, like you say, overpromise, underdeliver. Probably a victim of this.
Yeah. But I think the main thing that divided the people was, I think the trailers are made more look like you're using the realism mode. So the trailer didn't make it look as health barrier as it was because the realism mode removes that. And I think the trailer was made using that. So people were expecting to go in and be like the one-shot people and the die. I'd always seen them advertise it as a arcade shooter, so I was going in expecting that type of thing.
Me too. Because let's face it came out at the same time as another shooter.
Yeah.
and a lot of people were in. There were sort of two camps.
Yeah.
Of column A, column B, and this is the Crossfire was definitely the one for me. I knew that I would much prefer that than Firewall that came out about the same time, and I think I made the right choice. From what I've seen, Firewall I think has pretty much fallen on its arse.
Yeah, I bought both, and probably don't even have an hour in Firewall, like, because I can't play it for reasons outside of my control, and it don't seem to be about fixing that. So,
oof, yeah. Does anybody still play Firewall?
I think some people do. I've seen a few people I follow on Twitter who only have PlayStation VR often say that they are streaming it and stuff, but they're all like ones that were massive fans of the first one. So I suppose they put up with all the jank from the first one, so they're going to put up with all the jank from this one.
Because it's exactly the same jank. They learned nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, 3 hours in a lobby on day one. Yeah, it was not the right choice for me. Whereas Crossfire, it broke on us plenty of times in a loading screen. I can remember just being like in a black screen shooting bullets and having no idea. But I have fun every single time I launch that game, and we continue to have fun every single time I launch it.
Yeah.
I do hope they add more to it, because there is going to come a point when we have to stop, but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't feel like I've been robbed for my money. It is absolutely my best shooter of the year for sure. It's the one I've certainly enjoyed.
And what's great about it is it's got a single player campaign, and it's got the co-op missions, which single player campaigns out 16 missions. It's fun to go through if you want to. Then they've got the co-op campaign, which is like 60 odd missions. But you can also tackle those co-op missions now in single player. So if you don't have someone to play with, you can still do all the co-op missions on your own. So that's like extends the single player side of it. They're obviously made and more fun in co-op, made for and a lot more fun in co-op, but they have taken that option that you can go and play the co-op.
Do they give you like a dumb AI friend?
Yeah, they'll give you an AI friend, yeah.
Okay, because I hear the AI on that game. I first heard about that game before it was released from members of the community that were kind of not supposed to say anything.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not mentioning their names. But they were like, yeah, it's just kind of like whack-a-mole. You just aim at a spot and they keep running into your target and you just fire. It's really disappointing. And that really scared me about the game. But I'm so glad I just took the plunge and bought it.
Yeah.
No look back. Like, yeah, it's absolutely worth the money. And well done from me. You get my game of the year. You get my shooter game of the year. Just whatever you do, people, don't look up Crossfire on Twitter. Look up Sierra Squad.
I started typing something in my avatar. I forgot my avatar's got expressions linked to set things. So it's like pulling angry faces. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I did look it up on Twitter, and it was a bad time. Was it who makes this game? Smilegate? That sounds
Smilegate. Yes.
Twisted.
Smilegate. Smilegate have made some very weird games in the past, which I've enjoyed them both.
Do I want to know?
One was Rogue and Thief in the Castle, which got absolutely panned, and I absolutely loved it. That's PC VR though, and Focus on You, where you take pictures of a college girl who you meet in a coffee shop.
That was them?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's some real sort of Kanojo kind of stuff going on there.
So it sort of went from making like a stealth game inspired like by the Thief type game to let's take pictures of this college girl to a shooter. They seem to just spread the wings and go. But
I mean, diversity, but yeah, that is absolutely superb. Great work.
Well, yeah. So well done, Smilegate. You won our shooter of the year.
I'm just shocked about the focus on you. That's absolutely baffled me.
I actually went into that a few months ago just to remember what it was like, and it was, interesting.
You know, one thing that does take a lot of focus, though, is an outstanding technical achievement.
Yeah. And this is one that we both agreed on straight away. Both said the same
Yeah,
game.
there was no sort of umming and ahhing or this was mine, this is mine. Admittedly, I've only played it on the PSVR 2, where you have played it on the Quest as well.
And PC. I went through all of them.
Okay, I've seen others play PC.
What's interesting, I'll put the, and we'll say it in a second, when I put it on my list, I put Quest in brackets, but then I thought it was a technical achievement on everything it got released on. It wasn't just the Quest.
I was going to say, yeah. It was released on the Quest 2 first, and everyone was like, this looks astounding. Then they released it on Pico and was like, the Pico version's better than the Quest 2. Then it was released on PSVR 2, and it was like, wow, the PSVR 2 is the best game I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. And then the Quest 3 got an update, and everyone's like, holy shit, how are they doing this? Yeah. It is nothing short of witchcraft.
Yeah.
And the PC version, I imagine, just looks stunning from day one.
Yeah,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it could be anything less other than what it actually is.
Yeah.
It's a game that is absolutely out of this world.
Yep, and it closes our intro. It's a game in the background for the close of our intro for the podcast, and that is Red Matter 2. Red Matter 2 by Vertical Robot.
I went into that game and pretty much from the start of it, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Pictures of like a spacesuit. I made the book of screenshots and I needed it to include Red Matter 2 in it because it is just one of those games that you just look at it and you think, what the flying ducky how have they done this? They've made, like, Satan is getting like 18 extra souls just because this game exists. It's astonishing.
And what was fantastic about it was when we had Tatiana on earlier in the year from Call CVR, she was saying she knows the people who work on it, and it is a small team that work on Red Matter, and on the Quest version it's a small team that works on that one. And God,
the first game, I think there was actually like photographs of the team, and it's not a massive picture, not a massive photograph. It is a small team. They have done amazing things, and apparently we're not the only ones that think this is fantastic. Scrolling through their website, DICE 26th Annual Award Immersive Reality Game of the Year. Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, the Game Awards nominee for Best AR VR Game, Upload VR Best of 22 Best VR Developer, and Road to VR Game of the Year 2022 on the Quest. It is absolutely deserving of all of this praise, and now the highest of rewards, it gets the VRverse Technical Achievement of 2023 award. Well done to you. Vertical Robot, I think, or
is Vertical Robot.
It is
Vertical Robot.
I was mixing it up with Bad Robot. The what's his name who did Lost? His company. Well done, Vertical Robot. You've done amazing things, and please keep doing that. You keep making it, I'll keep buying it.
So the reason I dropped
just
on
over and over again
the Quest 3 caveat on when I put it as my technical achievement was they've brought in real-time lighting in the Quest 3 upgrade. So you can turn your torch and get real-time shadows off the objects and stuff. And I thought, that's just
that's insane.
Yeah. I just played when you first get out of the station you're starting and into the part where it's got a bit of history of all the people who are on the ship and stuff, like where you scan it and it tells you. I was just playing with the lights on the necks on there and putting stuff under it and shining the shadows across stuff. And I thought, that is mad. This is Quest 3.
I need to buy this now. I'm on the website. I'm looking. It's in Spanish. That's fine. Give me it in parlez-vous anglais. Yeah.
And everything, like, even on every version, the little controls with the grips. Red Matter 1 was fantastic, but the one thing that got me Red Matter 1 is the fingers on your controller grip things, like the tool you use to pick stuff up, didn't interact with every surface, but this will on Quest. On Quest
It's
for
currently
PlayStation.
$11.99.
You can.
If you're getting a Quest for Christmas, do yourself a favor. Buy Red Matter right now. It's $11.99. Use my referral code thisisawesome.com and get a no discount on there. It's astonishing.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're getting a Quest 3,
$11.99.
you've got that upgrade, and it will blow your mind. Like,
totally worth it. Yeah.
it blew your mind on the Quest 2 without the real-time shadows, but the more detailed textures, real-time shadows in the Quest 3 now. It's just with the enhanced one. It's what you expect a game to look like. Asgard's Wrath. I'm only joking. Asgard's Wrath is on a bit of a bigger scale, and isn't it? I suppose, but
it is. It is. There's some areas of Asgard's Wrath I look at that and I'm just like, this is great. I'll give them this. They've managed to squeeze a lot of game into a small download. I expected that to be one of the reasons I bought the large 512 Quest 3. So I was just like, oh, you know what it was like with the Quest 2? If you bought the 64 gig, you couldn't even play this game because it was more than 64 gig. And I was expecting it to be huge, but Asgard's Wrath was only about 30 odd gig, is it? It's not as big as you expect it to be for 60 hours worth of gameplay.
No.
Must have a lot of recycling or efficiency on that one as far as storage goes.
Yeah. So next up, I mean, I was going to say it's spooky season, but it's December, Paul. It's not October, is it? Jesus Christ.
Hey, some people can find that incredibly spooky.
Yeah. A boy born of no father at all could be spooky to some people. So yeah, next up we've got best horror game. And now for this, I put forward Resident Evil Village. But it had a bit of horror to it, I would say. Well, even Capcom themselves said that to knock the horror down on it from Resi 7 because people didn't like Resi 7 being as scary as it was. But it still had its horror element. It still had parts which made it a bit freaky. Like, I thought fighting the sisters of Lady Dimitrescu they were quite freaky fights. But and when you're going underground through the flooded storage and the vampires are popping up out of the water and stuff and you've got to fight them, there was some spook to it, but it wasn't as scary as it should have been. But for me, I was like, it was a fantastic version of the VR version of it was fantastic. And to be honest, I felt like bad for not including it on my list. I was like, it's got to go in somewhere. Come on. So yeah, we got that from there. And then Doc put his forward, which...
Yeah, it was, once again, not a massive genre. There is other scary games out there that maybe people have played or tried or think it maybe doesn't, would be a better choice. And by all means, the award shows are subjective, people. They're a waste of time. So, yeah, my choice... is the game that I played the most and scared me the most this year. It had a rocky start, though. It did have a very rocky start. It was very hit and miss on many different levels. It had a bit of a roller coaster of a launch, shall we say.
Yeah.
But I think between listening to the community and testing like a mother lover, and just commitment to getting it right and to where it needed to be, I think they absolutely got there.
Yeah.
They went forward, but then they switched back to win the award. Dark Pictures Switchback VR is our horror game of the year. I was tempted to put this in for the shooter. I was like, oh, do I go for the shooter for Switchback VR?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't find the Resident Evil games scary.
Mm.
I Resident Evil, I play those games and they are action games to me. And I walk around and I throw knives at people and I mock them and I'm just like, yeah. Whereas this game physically made me jump out of my skin. There may or may not be high resolution video of me very, very scared playing this game. And so, yeah, I think this to me was my top choice, my number one, my go-to. Without a doubt.
Yeah, when I seen it on your list, I thought I've got no qualms giving it to that. Rush of Blood was still one of my favorite PlayStation VR games from the original PlayStation VR, and I don't know whether this is why at first I was so let down by Switchback, because I was going in my mind, this is going to be the big Rush of Blood next thing, and they seemed to knock some of it out, and then it had some issues with popping for me and things like that, and I was just like, it seemed more grey than dark, and I was like, it just seems a bit what Rush of Blood was, this wasn't. And I was expecting a Rush of Blood 2 really. But then, like you said, the team took it all on board. At Supermassive Games, they took it all on board, took the time to get a patch out, didn't try and rush a patch out to fix stuff. They took the time, which I appreciate the fact that they said it'll be ready when it's ready. They didn't say, like, we're going to rush. They didn't rush it out as like, well, okay, we fixed a pop-in, but we haven't fixed this. So made sure everything was all fixed at once and give it as a big patch. And
yeah,
it's the one game in the whole history of the VRrealm.com I've actually gone back and updated a review for, because it changed the game completely for me when they did the patch. Completely changed the game for me. And yeah, it's the only game I've ever gone back and updated a review for, because I was like, it deserves a good score now. Like, I didn't give it a bad score. I give it like an unremarkable rating at the time, so I've moved it to recommended from unremarkable.
I've sat here and I'm thinking of things and I'm like, oh wow, we should have had this category and we should have had that category. And one of the things, I've had the pleasure of meeting the team, and the sheer passion and joy for scaring the living crap out of the end users. I know it's not what you want to hear, but when you watch the director of the game watching people play that game, you can see the childlike joy on his face as people basically evacuate their bowels while playing. Yeah, he is an absolute sadist, and for that, I salute you.
And also, we've had a free DLC for it, which you do actually download as a separate DLC off the store, and that is, they've added Horde mode on, which I've had a few games of since the last few weeks. And that was basically they've made the drops bigger on the roller coasters. The roller coaster goes very fast and big drops and stuff between rooms, where you then got to kill 80 enemies, and then the cart will go again and it'll start going off down the big drops and loops, and well, not loops, but corners, fast turns and stuff. Get to the next room, another 8 enemies have beat, and you just got to keep doing that. But you get bonuses for like getting 8 headshots. Will load up the special guns out the side, where you might get a submachine gun or whatever. And it's fun. It was free, so again, can you really complain?
Get more support, yeah.
They've extended
why
it.
Get mad at more? What's just more to love, really? So
yeah, so definitely well done to Supermassive Games.
Yeah, you did great things with that, and hopefully you don't feel too jilted by the VR industry. The complaints were valid, but you fixed them, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, like I said, kudos on for taking the time and fixing it all at once rather than just drip feeding the fixes, because you give the people the experience they wanted in one chunk after the patch come out. So now we've got
we've got 3 more left to go.
Yeah.
and we've got about 40 minutes. So if you do have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, start thinking of those, because we'll be coming to those shortly.
Yeah. After the awards, we'll jump, see if anyone's got any questions, and then we can go through them to close up, as usual. So next up,
then, yeah, the last sort of mini category, I suppose, is the one to say, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got here the best action adventure game.
Which, as I was saying earlier, the genre is not one of my biggest.
Yeah.
I would say, probably. I did somewhat struggle over this one, and I was playing Asgard's Wrath last night frantically to try and figure out if I wanted to put that in this category.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
I played a bit more because I was in the same thing. I thought if I play a bit more of that, maybe I'll get a bit more of a taste. But listening, I mean, it's not one I've tried to avoid to watch people stream now. I'm like, I don't know how quick I'll get through it. I could not be watching people's things forever. And a few streams I've jumped on, and I jumped into the VRverse podcast a bit last night where they were quickly covering it. And they said once you start getting your skill points and upgrading your weapons, like it gets a lot more entertaining because you can do a lot more with your weapons. So I was like, right, okay, I'll play till I start getting some more than done up on there.
Yeah.
So
I
will go back to it, but for me, it's not like I struggled with this category again because I was like, don't know what I'll put as the other stuff. I don't know what I'd put as like what I'd class in this genre, and because they all seem to fall in the ones like, is it a is it just an action game? Is it a shooter? Was a shooter fall into this? It just throws your mind. So I went with my nomination was Vertigo 2. It was the one that stood out to me as a sort of action adventure.
I spent a lot of time last night in Steam basically filtering by category.
Yeah.
And saying what was classed as an action adventure, and then some of the stuff I was like, yeah, that one. I was like, that's not really an action adventure game, is it? And the thing is, the category of I own it, should have played it, but haven't. God, that list was way too long. Just so long. I would have loved to have put maybe a medieval VR in a conversion or something like that kind of category, because that's something that just kind of appeared out of nowhere and was very well received. So I would have loved to have mentioned that at some point this evening, but
yeah. So
I ended up not doing it.
I went to Vertigo 2. Absolutely fantastic game. Obviously, again, tiny development team. Zach puts his heart into everything he does when it comes to games, and it shows in this. To me, it was like for playing on PC VR, it's like the closest you'll get to Half-Life Alyx, like on PC VR to me, because he puts that care into it. and it's an outstanding.
And like you say, for the size of the team as well, because it feels bad not giving those small teams the same kind of shout, the same kind of clout that they get from all of the bigger games.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm happy that Red Matter 2 made it onto the list, because, as you said, small team, big results.
Yeah. Definitely.
But for me, this game sadly doesn't fall into that category. They're a big boy and they know it.
Yeah.
I've not played as much as I would have liked, but it is still, they've taken an old dog and they've taught it new tricks in a big bad way.
Yeah.
I played it on the Quest and I've played it on the PSVR 2, and it's just so much. I I think my affinity of loving these games is absolutely the thing that really helps.
Yeah.
I've played these games on many different times, many different platforms, and many different times, like just like 4, 5, 6 playthroughs. I played it on the Quest 3 times.
Yeah.
And so when this game came out, I absolutely had to go for it again. And that is, without further ado, if you've not already guessed, Resident Evil 4 on the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil 4 remake on the PSVR 2, there's a lot of people who's like, played it, don't care. No, play it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is worth it.
I think I probably would have played through it all again if I wasn't doing a full playthrough on stream. I think I'm halfway through now. I've done about 6.5 hours on stream of it since it came out, and then I think I'd be finished it if I wasn't wanting to play through it 100% on stream. Basically, I would have been straight away through it.
Yeah. It's one of those. I like many other people who make content feel bad about playing games when I'm not live.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those games that I feel guilty if I'm not streaming when I play it. So as a result, like you, I haven't played anywhere near enough of this game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it should not be on this list. It absolutely should.
I think obviously the visuals obviously are insane because it's just the conversion of the remake, and it's one thing I struggled with the Quest version is it basically was just
oh yeah, it was like the GameCube
version yeah.
In VR.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I still loved it. I loved every second of playing that game. And I went back and played it again, and I got the rocket launcher, and I destroyed it a second time. And I went back with the rocket launcher and then destroyed it for a third time. I love playing that game.
Yeah.
It was one of the first times Resident Evil left the survival action horror and just became kind of an action horror sort of game.
Yeah.
Maybe even just more action than horror. But yeah, I dig that game. And in the PSVR 2, the blacks, as black as they are, it just looks absolutely stunning, and it's kind of creepy. I think it made me jump the other night.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a clip somewhere. Yeah, it really did freak me out. So I cannot, like, Capcom need to do more of this. I'm sat hovering over 2 and 3 thinking, are they eyeing that up for another VR treatment? Because they're currently £8 on PlayStation, and I'm like, ooh, balls. Maybe I should buy it just to make Capcom listen and like, okay. I don't know, but
I've had I think so far playing through it, I've had a few jumps, but the thing that made me jump the most is blooming Ashley when you just turn around and she's there. Or she runs next to you and you're like, oh.
Oh, actually, in the PSVR, in the Quest version, I frequently had to tell her to learn personal boundaries, and I would poke her so she walked away. So that's good to know that's not changed.
No, yeah, just turn around. Oh, she's there in the doorway. Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's good to know that's not vanished.
But yeah, they've done an outstanding job. I mean, I was expecting them to what they've done with Resi 7 and Resi 8. I was expecting it to be done really well, but yeah, it's definitely the best way I've played the game. Definitely.
I fully agree, and I look forward to playing more of it in the new year.
Yeah. So
that now leaves us 2 big questions.
Yeah.
Which way do you want to go?
I've worked out the winner by percentage on the viewers, so we could go with that first.
Cool. That's absolutely fine.
Our game of the year till last. So
the viewers' choice via all nominations were nominated by the community.
Yeah.
It came through from the community. They're the ones that nominated these games. We had nothing to do with this other than we said, right, this has got this many nominations, so it's going on the list.
Yeah.
We did remove Sea Smash from the list because it was already getting an award.
Yeah.
So we did remove Sea Smash from the list because technically it was the 6th nomination and we only had room for 5.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight, we could have actually done 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we received a grand total of, what did I say?
It was a 28 votes overall across them.
Yeah. 28 votes in total. And this game received a whopping 10 of those, a third of the votes.
Yes. And that is, so I'll remind of the nominations that came through. We had Asgard's Wrath 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Assassin's Creed Nexus, The Light Brigade, and Ghosts of Tabor. And yeah, the thing that got basically a tenth of the votes, is that right? You just said it?
The votes, all 3 of them. It got 10.
10 votes, just shy of 30. A third of the votes, basically, wasn't it, on its own?
It's got like a third of the votes.
Yeah.
Many votes. The most votes. The votes was huge.
And that is Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Well done, Guerrilla Games. It was a technological achievement for sure. The boat ride in the start of that game is jaw-droppingly beautiful.
And it's actually something I like to put people in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even after you've even just the safari ride, which is on the boat, which is just not even the start of the game, which is on the menu, where it shows all the machines off. Just put people in that. I think I put 13 in it because she wanted to see the boat ride, so I put her in that because I thought you see everything, and
you do.
It's unbelievable. Seeing the size of the tall neck as it steps over you, the tall neck as it steps over you, and looking up like, oh my god, look at that! Look at the scale.
You get the face wibbles of the headset shaking and stuff like that. Yeah. I did recently have a conversation with a few people, and they made a good point. They were saying how in Horizon, the facial haptics are fine. The problem is the tall neck stands over you and your face shakes, but the rest of your body doesn't move. And that makes it feel weird. And I completely understood what they were on about. Yeah. That makes absolute sense to me. Apart from the fact that I played it with the Wooja and everything wibbled as it should have done, and it was brilliant. So I can understand why they didn't like it.
I mean,
they've done good things.
It might sound bad, but good in a way. This is a game that I was devastated I couldn't even put forward for an award when I was doing my list, because I absolutely loved it. Like, I'm a massive fan of the climb, so the climbing didn't bother me one bit. It was like playing the climb again.
Yeah.
My main issue with it was the static dodge left and right combat was my main issue. I thought it could have been so much more in the combat side. Maybe do the dodge left and right when you're fighting like the tall neck, not the tall neck, the Thunderjaw and stuff, because they're massive. But when you're fighting like the smaller birds or the smaller, and why not just give us free reign of movement?
Well, this is the thing. So my thing with this game was that the PSVR came out, and on release day I unboxed it, then found out the controllers came flat, and I had to bugger off and disappear and wait for those to charge up. And so then after that, I jumped into many different games, and I saved the biggies until last. One of them being that obviously Horizon, Resident Evil, and Gran Turismo. And I saved Resident Evil until last, I think, but I did the boat on Horizon, and I thought, wow, that's great. And then I started climbing up the mountain and shooting targets or something. I don't remember. But the reason it didn't make it onto one of my lists is the fact that I'm struggling to figure out a reason to go back. it's not drawing me back in. I was like, okay, yeah, that's the thing. I've seen it, and I feel like I've seen its best moment. Probably haven't, but I'm struggling to find the motivation to return. Aside from that, there's so much new VR coming out. I just don't know why I'm going back to that game. It doesn't draw me in. Whether it's just a lack of interest in the content itself or what it is, I don't know. But that's the reason why it didn't really make it onto any of my lists for the year. But it's like I said, that boat ride is astonishing.
Yeah.
And then the demonstration of what reprojection looks like is brilliant. I had no idea what reprojection looked like, but that game gave me such a demo. I know exactly what reprojection is every time I see it now.
Like, to be honest, I actually do feel if this year hadn't been so crazy for actually really good releases, because it has been. It's been probably one of the best years for VR, in my opinion, for blockbuster releases. The time the releases were quiet was the time when there was the heat wave in the UK, and I was just like, well, that's not good. That's the only time I'm not going to be playing it.
It's been a very, very big year for VR, and it seems to have just snowballed. The year started out with PSVR in February, the PSVR 2, and it's ended with just a mountain of I feel bad for the people that can't or won't diversify outside of PC VR. I understand it. I get it. You know, that's totally fine. You've got your thing and you go nuts. But the options outside of PC VR have just skyrocketed.
Yeah. Like, I feel like for me, if there wasn't that many crazy amount of fantastic releases here, I probably would have played Call of the Mountain again on on the next difficulty up, probably. And I think that's why I was, like I said, it was very hard for me. I was like, it's got to fit it on the list somewhere, but I couldn't, unfortunately. But luckily for me, it has won something. It's won the viewer's choice.
Yeah, I will say this: it is probably one of the biggest wow moments I've had in VR since Half-Life Alyx. It really is AAA VR at its finest in that sense. They've done a good job with that, all mockery aside.
Yeah.
They've done a very, very good job. And of course, it's a loved franchise, which is always dangerous. And always there's always that element of, right, there are people that don't give a crap about VR that are going to want to play this game. So we need to make this game for them as well as the VR heads.
Yeah.
And I think they did a great job of walking that line.
Yeah, and I think this is why it involved a lot of the climbers it did, because of Sony took the right approach. They've launched this headset. This is a flagship game. So they've made it so it is comfortable for any level of player. Like, it's not going to throw people off who haven't tried it before. They've got the comfort right for old and new players.
They have indeed.
So yeah, well done, Gorilla. Fire Sprite as well, we're involved in that one. Gorilla, Fire Sprite.
I think that's pretty much everything we came to do, isn't it?
Call of the Mountain. Yeah, there's nothing we've forgotten.
No, it's pretty much everything's covered.
Yeah.
Well, there is one more thing.
Yeah. And this is one that we, again, didn't even have to make a decision on. We both chose this game, which has probably made it a lot easier, because we didn't need to argue over which one was going to be Game of the Year. We both put this forward straight away. So
in the very, very early days, I said, are we doing like various different categories? Or are we just doing a Game of the Year? Because that means I don't have to think this is my game.
Yeah.
And then when you gave me your list and it included the Game of the Year, I was like, yeah, no, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
The chat are having guesses already as to what they think it's going to be, and I'm pretty confident they'll be right.
Yeah.
Because it is the best damn thing I have seen, not just this year, but pretty much in my lifetime. It's just astounding. I I could say so much. I could say nothing at all. It would basically speak for itself.
Yeah.
There was a lot of options for us this year.
There was.
A lot of options. Wallace and Gromit. Wow, what a game. I was so tempted to... No, I wasn't. That game sucks. Yeah, I was so tempted to go for Wallace and Gromit. And many other sorts of games. I was a little bit torn to start with because I've had many great experiences this year. It's been one hell of a year for VR, and it's just been one hell of a year for the VR community as well. I've very much enjoyed the year, and I look forward to another one next year. I'm gonna be like, next year will mark my 10th year in VR, my decade in VR, which is a crazy number, a crazy thought.
Yeah.
And I still feel as much, if not more, love for the genre, for the platform, than I did back then. I need to go back and look at some of the wide-eyed, bushy-tailed dickhead that was making videos 10 years ago. And I tell you, if you tell that person what we've been doing this year, he's never going to believe it.
No.
VR has taken me many a place this year, including a stage in front of like tens of people. So I cannot just... everything that's gone on. I'm gonna shut up because I'll get emotional soon. Yeah, I can't help but say that it's just been a superb year.
Yeah.
But unlike many, our awards are not bought and paid for.
Yeah. Do you want to announce it? Big reveal? Drum roll? Boom, 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 boom. That's not what drum roll goes.
The big reveal. Chat's already guessed it. It's a no-brainer. It's absolutely gonna be End Dream Synapse.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, talk about a gameplay loop that is so repeatable. A visual aesthetic that just leaves your jaw on the floor. Of course it has to be Synapse. What did we all know? I basically turned into a Synapse streamer for a month. So naturally I absolutely love it, and I'm looking for a reason. I've platinumed that game.
Yeah.
I've platinumed like 2-3 games in my life. That's one of them.
Yeah. You've got...
the other one is Moss.
You've also got the, like you said, you've got the visual look, the replayability, but it's also use of hardware again.
Yes, the eye tracking, for allowing you to aim and things.
Select
like
things.
You're using your Jedi powers.
Yeah, just... they just took everything with a headset, used every part of the hardware that Sony have made, and made fantastic use of it all.
They have, and as I've said on a number of occasions, and my go-to example used to be Beat Saber. When I played Beat Saber for the first time, I played VR, and it wasn't like a visual wow moment. I mean, it kind of was. But when I finished, it was like, wow, I feel like a total freaking badass. The music, the gameplay made me feel like an absolute living legend. Playing Beat Saber, I felt so special. Windlands 2 was another one that in my head, I feel like a badass as I admittedly died on the first boss. But then as I'm swinging in and the boss is spawned and it's maybe attacking a friend, and you fly towards that first boss and you draw your bow and you're firing like mad as you're flying through the air, and then zip up into the sky just before you hit the ground, swing round and keep firing. It gives you a feeling of just being an absolute badass. And Synapse is like the third example of that for me.
Once you've done enough to like upgrade your telekinetic abilities as well, you just feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
Although you're very aware you can die quite easily, you just feel unstoppable. You think, I'll just run in here and grab this guy and throw him while I'm grabbing this barrel and throwing that one. You're just like, and then you end up dying because you're trying to do too much at once. But you feel like you can do it because it gives you that confidence of, I'm this badass, and it gives you that confidence. So you just run in thinking, I can take on the world. Oh, I'm dead.
I got that game down to being able to go from 0 to finished in less than 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just got that insane with it. That much of a badass. It is absolutely the best thing I've done this year. And yeah, it just goes to show there are no games for the PSVR 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The funny thing was, when that competition was on, I thought, I'm going to try and do some of this. And then I did my first run. I was like, how are people doing it in the time they're doing it? Because I was like, it took me like over an hour. And then I realised I'd not changed the difficulty. So I was running through it on the hardest setting. And it was taking me like just over an hour on the hardest. I thought, I could have gone, oh shit, I didn't switch the setting down to the easiest mode. I probably could have. I don't think I would have beat the times that were set because they were mad.
No, 17 minutes I think won it, which is insane.
Yeah. Well, I thought I could have probably done better than an hour and a bit.
Yeah, that's just no. I like playing it day and night. I couldn't get it to 17.
Yeah. I mean, congrats to the guy who did, or girl.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
It's unbelievable.
I had so much. I knew I was never gonna win it, but I did it anyway because it was that fun.
So my reason for putting it on there was, I was torn between this. I mean, I spoke about Vertigo 2 for action adventure and how much I thought that game was outstanding. But with Synapse, I finished Vertigo 2. It never crossed my mind to go back into it until obviously it's come out on PlayStation. I'll probably play it again on PlayStation. But Synapse, it was like, I need to go back and do some more. And I still feel the need to go in again. If it wasn't so crazy for releases recently, I probably would have played even more of that. But at the time when it came out, for the first month, it was like, I need to keep going back and do more. I'll put it on for half an hour. Let's have a little go of Synapse. Like, it was like a reason I was turning it on. Like, it was my pick up and play game, although it's got the thingy, but obviously you've got your. I was just like, it was my pick up and play. I just wanted to go in and throw people.
That's the poster right there. I just want to go in and throw people.
Yeah.
I think in the end I logged over 30 hours in that game.
Yeah.
I thought I was done at 24 hours, and then when I went back it was on 34. I was like, wow, that's just crazy to think that I put that kind of time into that game. But it's well deserved. Like, it's just so pretty and playable, and just I'm looking at the artwork for it right now, and I'm just gushing.
Yeah.
End Dreams absolutely nailed it. It is you can see the evolution of End Dreams in that game.
Yeah. Definitely.
I just superb and well deserved. I don't know if they've got any other awards. I think they got the Game Studio of the Year award at the VR Awards. But now you've got the most prestigious award, the VRverse Game of the Year, End Dreams Synapse.
So congratulations to them and everyone who's won an award.
Let everybody know.
Anyone who we nominated.
On the Twitters.
Yeah. Over
so many great games.
Over the next over tomorrow we'll be sharing all the winners over on the VRverse Twitter.
Yeah,
and letting people
there are
know.
many a game that it hurt not to put on these lists.
Yeah.
But you have to pick something, don't you? Because otherwise, you just not. We should have done it as a tier list. That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
Just put Beardo Benjo at the top.
Hey, he won VR Content Creator of the Year.
He did indeed, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Benjo is a lovely lad. I've had the honor of hanging out with Benjo on quite a few occasions, and he is absolutely, he's just such a great, sweet person. In real life and in his content, and he does make astonishing content. Like I said, it's been a hell of a year for me. I've seen so many different and great people. I have broken bread with the best of them. And I still want to do it more, but the year of VR, I got to meet Skeeva, I got to meet Harry, I got to meet Alex, the Between Reality guys. I got to meet Eric, C2C gamer, Q2C gamer. I got to meet Mike. I was hanging out with Mike on Saturday night at VR Oasis. And then, of course, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, the best of the bunch, the Tatastic gamer himself, the VR Realm. I've had an astonishing year this year. I've been on stage at the VR Spotlight at EGX, where I got to hang out with, once again, Gamertag, Mac in VR, Callum Hurley. I got to meet the developers for Tin Hearts. The word blessed is not enough to summarize my year. It's not. I feel like, like Upload, where you die and then you go into like a perfect world. Pretty sure that's what's happened. So I just can't grumble at all. And who knows where next year will take us. But I'm saying goodbye to this year. For now anyway. It's still got another 11, 12 days left.
Yeah.
I'm calling it 11. Today's pretty much done. It's close enough. How about you, man?
Yep, great, yeah. Didn't meet as many people, but I got to meet you.
Yeah, you did. We'll get you out next year. You coming to WASD in April?
I think so.
Nice.
I'll have to check when it is, because I've got a concert booked in April, but I'll have to see when it is. That's
music.
That's my problem. I'm a big music listener, so I always like.
Yeah.
These events always seem to coincide when I need to book stuff for music, which is a nightmare.
I know it is an absolute nightmare, but hopefully we'll get to get a little bit more and guests on the show next year as well. I think we've got 2 or 3 people wanting to be on the show literally already.
Yeah.
So that's a great start.
Yeah, we're pushing forward next year with guests, things like that. We want to try and bring more people in.
Yep, the last Tuesday of the month.
Yep. Moving forward.
For those of you that didn't catch that news, cold. The last Tuesday of every month, you can catch us right here at the VR Realm with the podcasts.
Yeah. Should we jump?
And in between, great content, great reviews over at thevrrealm.com as well. Go check it out. Thanks to Paul, I'm going to buy me some ProTube grips for the Quest.
Yeah, I always posting stuff over there. A lot of ProTubes going on. Yeah, we've got our questions to do before we finish.
We do indeed. I'm looking at one.
Last questions of the year.
What are you looking forward to the most next year in VR?
I
don't know what's happening next week.
They're gonna say Just I'm hoping next year is a year of content rather than so much hardware.
We are due like a little bit of a lull hardware side of things, although I mean Steam VR, let's go, Gabe. Come on, let's crack out a new headset. The Index is old as fuck.
Just go to
Get a new headset.
Just go to Croy Stream. They're just falling apart now, they're that old.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad with a perfectly functional Index just sat over there staring at me saying, because I never use it. I've just got it. The jumping from that to a Pico to the Quest, the panel is just so dated now.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not aged well. And I said no, it's aged very well. It's just aged.
Yeah.
So hopefully something from Valve as far as VR goes. That would be the thing that I would most want from next year. The thing that I know is coming, fucked if I know, really. I don't know. I'm gonna say Vertigo because That's the game I haven't played, and it's coming out on PSVR
Yeah.
too. So
The Madison VR for those who want a horror.
oh yeah, that's I don't want horror at all ever, but that's a biggie that's coming. UE the Unreal Injector.
Yeah.
I absolutely want that.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. That's something I'm looking forward to, yeah.
Very much looking forward to that.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Definitely.
And then a few other things that I do know that are coming that I'm not allowed to tell you they're coming. But trust me, oh, the things I know, you would shit your trousers. So yeah, there's that.
So I'm looking forward to shitting my trousers next year.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You should totally do that. Oh, we've done a lot of good things this year. What's the worst game that you found that everybody seems to have universally loved? What's your hot take
like
VR
this year?
Yeah.
Right, I even you're probably gonna smite me for this one. Foglands. I actually did.
You hated that and everybody loved it? Or you loved that and everybody hated it?
Which way around did you say? Did you say
what's the worst VR game that everybody else loved?
Oh, sorry, I got that the wrong way around.
I mean, that's a good shout though. Your sort of guilty pleasure. What game did you like that everybody else disliked? I mean, technically, Dark Pictures would kind of be mine. Everybody seemed to really hate that, and I was like, why? It's totally fine. I felt like I was on the other side of the.
I've hit one for me.
Coin for that one,
and for the other way around, everyone loved, and I hate. Hot take, and it was actually in our viewer awards. So sorry, people who voted it in that. No disrespect to you, but I just didn't like Ghost of Tabor. And I like shooters.
You weren't a fan?
No.
Wow, okay.
But I did play it early, like as it came out, and there was a lot of jank. So I might go in it now and enjoy it, but from what I've played of it, it put me off going back in and playing it. So
right.
Maybe it's worth giving it a try now. It's had a lot of updates, but yeah. It's probably mine.
Do you know, still to this day, I have not played the No Man's Sky update on PSVR. Still to this day, I haven't done it. So yeah, there is that. I'm trying to think of because there was one game that everybody seemed to like, but I wasn't a fan. And then it turned out that Zim actually agreed with me. Those of you that don't already know and or follow Zim Talk 5, he is an OG VR streamer. He's been in the game for a very, very long time. You should absolutely head over to his YouTube, head over to his Twitch and check him out.
Yeah.
He is such a great guy to talk to as well and to hang out with.
Definitely.
I feel the need to shout him out because he was kind enough to mention me on a lesser known podcast called VReality. But it's absolutely well deserved. Dude is an absolute legend, sweetheart of a guy as well. But he and I had a very similar opinion. I cannot remember what game it was, but I felt like I was kind of against the world. And then when he gave out his opinion, I was like, oh, great, it's not just me. I don't think it was... See, Arizona Sunshine 2, I'm shocked that it didn't get any nods for the viewer's choice. Because I thought a lot of people seemed to like that game. A lot of people like that game. I didn't have the best experience. Which did kind of shock me. And I know he felt sort of similar, that he wasn't overly impressed with it either. So I'm gonna say that one, just purely because, yeah.
So and then another question. Got this one, and we've got I'll save the most important one to last. The the most broken VR game that still let you play it.
Yeah, the best VR mod, it was literally a category called.
Yeah.
The VR guilty pleasure.
I've already sort of put mine forward with Foglands.
You kind of put yours forward for that one. Yeah, I don't think I have one. I happily own up to every single one of them. So the most broken VR game that's still like, yeah, mine's Power Wash.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Power Wash. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It was so incredibly broken, and yet I still
loved it. Yeah, I still put
played
30,
it.
38 hours into it. So
Yeah.
in its broken state. So the last question I'm saving the most important one to last. Favorite Christmas dinner item since it's the Christmas period. Step on your favorite Christmas dinner item. There's only one winner that hits the moon compared to the Earth in height for me, and that's pigs in blankets.
It has to be. It absolutely has to be. The pig in blanket is one of those things that I feel like should happen all year round. Do you know the worst thing? Yeah, I frequently go to a sandwich shop and I will buy a sausage and bacon sandwich. That's not the same.
No,
it's not the same as a pig in a blanket. I don't know why. You put the two together, it does not make a pig in a blanket.
Every now and then I'll order a Toby Carvery delivered to my house, and there you can add a portion of pig and blankets on there any time of the year. But it just feels wrong eating them when you get them. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be eating these now.
I would abuse the shit out of that.
I shouldn't be eating these now.
I don't care. Now, one of the weird things. What's the weirdest thing you have on your Christmas dinner? Chat as well. What's the weirdest thing you've seen on a Christmas dinner?
On my own or just in general?
I'm gonna say your own, I guess. Like, what's the weirdest thing that somebody's come to you and said, "Oh, do you want on your Christmas dinner?" And you're like, "Are you for real?"
I would say cauliflower cheese.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I've been offered cauliflower cheese on a Christmas dinner and been like, just don't. That one does frequently come in like a Sunday dinner. That is not the weirdest thing I've had the pleasure of being offered. But it is definitely, yeah, it is odd. And like putting gravy on that and stuff. Yeah. My thing is mushy peas.
Mushy peas.
Who the fuck puts mushy peas on a Christmas dinner? Apart from my wife.
Of all the types of peas, mushy peas.
Mushy peas, yeah. Like not green beans, not
garden
just
peas.
Like marifat peas or monstro. No, fucking mushy peas on a Christmas dinner. You may as well just stick like chip shop curry on there while you're at it. Fuck it.
That's a very weird.
Weird.
Weird. That is weird.
Yeah.
She wins most weird Christmas dinner award. You have to let her know.
Yeah. I'll let her know the award ceremony tonight, and you win for mushy peas. That's just crazy.
Most weird Christmas dinner.
Black pudding on a Christmas dinner is kind of weird, though. Or was that just a Sunday dinner? It's still a bit odd. I had a Yorkshire pudding with breakfast the other day. Not as crazy as you think. The tomato and gravy, the tomato gravy was odd and yet strangely pleasant. Cauliflower cheese, yeah, it sounds like you're being shunned in chat, mate. People love the cauli cheese.
I like it on the Sunday lunch. Just doesn't seem to involve a Christmas dinner to me.
No, I get that.
But the person who's shunning it, stubborn, they don't know anything about Christmas dinners. They put like
right, it's like that, is it?
They put a spoonful of gravy on theirs, and that's too much.
Wow. Shots are fired. We should go before we just shun the entire community. But once again, speaking of the entire community, you are all beautiful, gorgeous creatures. Yes, and I cannot thank you all enough for accepting me into your arms and Yeah. Now fuck off and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, your show was great support through the year, and it's greatly appreciated. And I look forward to coming back next year, having the good doctor here again. It's great to get him added to the show as a permanent feature.
It's one of those things that I never expected, and I will do my best to disappoint you every single month. To make sure you know your choice was poorly made. But I do thank you very much for bringing me on this journey, nevertheless.
I need to type that into the person I'm going to raid chat there. 13 saying she likes lots of gravy. That's what I'm saying. That's the way to do it. Lots of gravy, just not the. That's why I won't take any advice from.
Do you like
people?
Brown water, or do you like concrete that can hold a spoon?
If I'm having it with chicken, I like more watery gravy. But if I'm having anything else, it has to be thick.
We have digressed.
Yeah.
Right. Was that the last of the
That was the last
requirements?
and most important question. So again, I'd just like to say
indeed.
thank you everyone who has joined us through the year again. I hope you all have a great Christmas period, friends and family and all that. And we will be back at the last Tuesday of January. Jesus Christ.
The last Tuesday of January, when the first last leaf falls,
Yes.
which is going to be January the 30th for those of you that are keeping count. January the 30th. We'll see you all then in the new year. Love one another or hate one another. Don't involve me.
Yes. Thank you everyone who tuned in today. And until next year. Seems mad saying that, but it's only in next month. Until next year, bye for now.